My name is Roosevelt Johns. I'm the chaplain, the director of chaplaincy for the Atlanta Fire Rescue Department. I've been a part of the fire service for actually a little over 40 years. The role of a chaplain is basically to come alongside of the firefighter and their families during difficult times, stressful times, and maybe even sometimes joyous times, because so oftentimes when you think of chaplaincy, you only think of the negatives or the heavy side, such as life or death or significant injury. But I've also had the pleasure of performing weddings. We do things like baby dedications. We kick off special events that the fire department has, and we do quite a bit of counseling too. I have also walked in the space that I'm talking about. It's not that I've read about this journey, I've walked in the journey. So I've been a firefighter, I've been a driver, I've been an officer. So I understand the varying roles that the firefighter walks in. When I come to the firefighter as a chaplain, they also know that I understand a pretty rounded view of what it is to be a firefighter. We respond to a myriad of calls, a lot involving human tragedy. In other words, people losing their homes or maybe losing a life or maybe being bodily injured. When you do that on a repeated basis, just one time is enough to cause some mental distress. But in an environment such as we are in now, it seems like the firefighter experiences these events more frequently. And so nowadays, they don't really have the time to debrief, rebound before the next call. They're constantly being inundated with tragedy. And so they don't have what I believe, the adequacy of time to process it and get ready for the next one before they're already in it. I've had firefighters, as an example, that come out straight out of recruit class, and within the first month, they may see a dozen very significant calls, and where there's loss of life or significant damage. And that's a lot for a brand new person to have to embrace early on in their career. They're very careful and cautious about who they share their experiences with for fear of being labeled or judged. And that's one of the things that we work on, which is trying to get the firefighter to realize that they can talk to chaplains in confidence. Is the stigma real and is it true? Absolutely it is. And how I choose to work through it and how most of my peers work through it is through our own transparency. Because I am a person that has a great deal of tenure, I've been in this line of work for a very long time. And if I'm able to be transparent with them, let them know honestly how I feel and how I've felt related to some of the things that I've seen, then it tends to give them a perspective that, maybe I can relax, maybe I can talk about this and it not be harmful in doing so. I try my very best to get leaders to do the same, the ones that have come up through the ranks, and they too have many stories that, not to say that you would share the stories, but because you can identify with some of the imagery that we have to carry, it has impact. It actually frees them. This recruit was feeling stressed in the training environment. It was during the COVID period of time, and they not by any fault of their own, but were unable to successfully complete the training. And so they were feeling extremely stressed, and they were at a place of wanting to quit the fire service even before they got started. And so I'll get called in, or chaplaincy will get called in even before a person hits the field. And we intentionally introduce chaplaincy to the members of the department early on so that we can help them navigate that space and set the tone for the future. It seems that this generation that we're um, dealing with right now, they're far more open to this than the generations of the past. Those kind of things just weren't done during that time. You had to basically, you've probably heard the term, you suck it up, you toughen up, and you'll get over this. It's the kind of guidance we were given coming through, but that's no longer the case. We are now seeing the realities of what that does to people. I've had the experience of people that have retired and they've come back talking to me about being diagnosed with PTSD. But well, prior to their leaving, there was no evidence that they were even having any challenges. So it has evolved quite a bit, and I'm really pleased to see that. Another vehicle for dealing with some of the challenges that we're facing in the fire department is peer support. We currently have a peer support team. Other departments are bringing peer support teams on, and we're finding that that's the first step. You may not always need a chaplain, you may not always need a clinician, but you certainly need someone that you can talk to in confidence about your current experiences.